is our review session. So these are things that we have covered before, no excuses. We've covered before, it's in your cloud port, but we'll be going over these a little bit differently. It will be a little bit tougher. If you struggle with any of this, do not worry. You're not at the stage now where you need to be absolutely pro on it all. So don't worry if you're struggling. This is just a bit of a recap, a catch up, and to let you know where you need the areas of learning more and where you're absolutely fantastic and you can fly through. Before I get going properly, am I too laggy? Am I okay? Or shall I leave my camera on for now?
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, shout me if it goes haywire. Let's go. So in this lesson, we are going to be reviewing units 1 to 7, which we have covered already. And I will be including specifically writing forms. Do you remember those? Audience and purpose. I bang on about that every week. A bit of grammar, some scary grammar, punctuation, and writer's perspective, which we covered in the very last session. We're going to cover those now more in detail. So writing forms first, let's have a look at some writing forms. Hopefully you remember these. We have got a formal letter, article, leaflet, speech, and biography. I'm going to share with you now a description of one of those. And remember, we've said before, these descriptions can sometimes fit a few. So you want the one that is the best fit, the one that is the best fit for our description. And then I'm going to launch the poll and we'll have a vote on what we think the description is talking about. So this writing form uses lots of information. It includes facts and statistics. It can be in short fact format or longer story format, and it is written in third person. So let me start the poll for you. And as we said before, I can't see what anybody votes for on the poll. I can see the answers that you selected, but I can't see who votes at all. I can't see a name. So feel free to jump in, feel free to have a go. You don't win any prizes if you win. There's no shame if you lose. So have a go and then you'll get your instant feedback. Did I do well? Do I need to practice a bit more? So have a go at this and then we'll share the results when everybody has participated. Thanks so much for joining in. Anybody else going to have a go? Anyone else want to take a guess at this one? The third person's a bit of a clue on this one, and the fact that it can be in short fact format or story format. So let me end this and share the results with you. That was split, that one. People went for B and E. I can see why. I can see why. This one was, in fact, E, biography. The clue there is third person. So an article could be written, you could be talking about something else. You could be saying, I went here, or you could be talking about something that happens, but a biography is always about a person. So it's he did this, she did that, they went there. Okay, so bear that one in mind. We've ticked off biography. Let's go for our next description. This writing form uses I, we, and you pronouns. It uses persuasive language and includes lots of repetition. Are we talking about a formal letter, an article, a leaflet, a speech, or a biography? Hit me with your answers, your guesses. And well done, straight in there. Ah, well done. Thank you so much. That was very fast. The majority of you there said D, and you were absolutely right. Yeah, speech. Well done for that one. Yeah, speech is used the I and the we because I am talking to you and we are in this together. Persuasive language with a speech, you absolutely are trying to get someone to agree with you and you keep repeating because a speech, they're not reading this, they're hearing this, they're not got this in front of them. So you need to keep repeating those words so that they remember, that sticks in their mind. Absolutely. Our next description, this writing form has the address at the top. It includes the date and it would probably utilize formal language. Have a go at this one. Oh, well done, straight in there. Oh, you're so super. Every single person got that one right. Well done. That one is a formal letter. Absolutely. Remember, an informal letter can look any which way you wish. An informal letter is completely up to you. A formal letter has rules, and these are the rules for the formal letter. Well done for remembering that one. Next description. This writing form can be varied in language and content. It may include facts or opinions, and it would have headlines and subheadings. What do we have left? Who can remember which ones have gone and which ones we have left? Very good, very good. All of you right again. This one is an article, yes, because they can be very varied. We could be talking here about a news report or a review, but yeah, they would generally look the same. They would have headlines, they would probably have subheadings. Yeah, well done for remembering that one. And the next one, this writing form is eye-catching. It's very informative and it will probably include lots of pictures. Hopefully you remember when we covered this one. What are we going for here? Very good. Everyone was right again. Top of the class, all of you. Well done. That one was indeed a leaflet. Yeah, very eye-catching. Lots of pictures. You've seen leaflets either when they come through your door or when you're on holiday and you get that big stack of leaflets telling you where you can go. Yeah, they're all very eye-catching. Lots of pictures, lots of information like the prices, the dates and such. Well done. Let me close that poll. Thank you very much. Writing forms also take other forms as well. We have talked about these, but try and remember that we also have autobiographies, reports. We talked about those like minutes for meetings and reports that you might do as part of a job. Travel memoirs, we covered this as well in the very first lesson, a travel memoir, not quite a biography or an autobiography, but specifically talking about memories of a person's travel. An informal letter, the complete opposite to a formal letter with no rules whatsoever. It looks how you want it to look, so much easier. Broadsheet, we will talk a bit further about the difference between broadsheet and tabloid newspapers. You will need to know this, so bear it in mind, but a broadsheet is another type of writing form where you would find articles and reports, news reports. News report as well, yeah, so this would be either in a broadsheet or a tabloid. An opinion piece might be in a newspaper, might be on a blog. This would be a writing form where someone's opinion is given. Someone talks about how they personally feel. A review, somebody that's watched a movie or had a product and they would write a review. And a tabloid, the opposite to a broadsheet, a type of newspaper. And we'll talk about those again further on. Hi, Mystery. Thanks for joining us. Nice to see you. Hi. So we're going to talk again about those forms that we just had a look at. These are the same. So these are the ones we've just had the polls on. But we're talking now about audience and purpose. I like to go on about that. You know I do. So we're going to talk now about the audience and purpose for each of these writing forms. See if you can link them up. See if you can join them up. This is trickier. So our first description, this writing form is written to inform, that is its purpose. And the audience is people wanting to learn more about a person. Let me launch the poll with you again. There we go. Have a go at this one. It's a bit trickier, this one. Its purpose is to inform and its audience is people wanting to learn more about a person. Very good. Excellent. Excellent. Everybody got that one right. Amazing. I'm so glad that you've all done your homework. Obviously, the lessons before were really good. I did amazing. You've all learned everything. You're cracking this. Well done. Yes, a biography is written to inform, also possibly to entertain, because, you know, we pick these up. Lots of people read these on the beach, but you're actually wanting to learn more about the person. So its intent is to inform, and the audience is people wanting to learn more about a person. You don't pick up a biography if you don't want to learn more about that person. You tend to be interested in them. Let's look at our next one. This one is written for many purposes, but mainly to entertain and inform. It's written for people interested in the subject matter or who want to learn more about it. Remember, we said these can apply to multiple, so we're looking for the one with the best definition or the one that rules out some other ones. So just give it a go and we'll talk it through afterwards. What do we think this one's aimed for? It's written for many purposes, mainly to entertain and inform, written for people interested in the subject matter or who want to learn more about that subject matter. Very good. Anybody else going to join in the poll? There we go. That's everybody. Once again, everybody went for the same answer. You're absolutely right. Well done. That was article. Yeah, because an article can be for many, many purposes. You know, you can be writing an article as an opinion piece, as a review, as a report. But the person reading it is the person that looked at the headline and thought, yeah, I want to read more about that. So you are talking to somebody who is either already interested in it and they've searched for bike articles, or that saw the headline and thought, yeah, I want to give that a read. So let's have a look at our next one. This one is written with the purpose to attract attention and inform. And its audience is passing by quickly and they want a lot of information in a small amount. No, I don't want to do that. No, why did I do that? Hang on. There we go. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Hopefully you can see the poll again now. Right, which one are we going for this one? Written to attract attention. Audience is passing by quickly. Very good. Anybody else going to join in the poll? That's all of you. Well done. Let me share the results. Very well done. All of you, again, straight in there for leaflet. Yeah, well done. They have to be bright. They have to have pictures. They have to be exciting looking. They also have to depict what they're showing. You know, if it's National Trust leaflet, it's not going to be bright and colourful like a soft play leaflet. It's going to be a bit more natural colours. So yeah, it's going to give a lot of information in a very small space because people are going to be rifling through these quickly. And if it's anything like the ones that come in my house, they'll go in the bin in a few seconds. Next writing form. This one is written for multiple purposes, including to inform, complain, or apply. It will be written to people who might be known or unknown to the author. So the audience here could be known personally to the author or could be completely unknown to the author. So this is an unusual one. Oh, we're split here. I did think this would happen because there are a few that do sound very much like they're aimed at a couple of different ones, and that's fine. I completely understand that. Let me share the results with you. This one was split. Some of you thought it was A and some of you thought it was D. Let's take a look. It is A, this one. Yeah, a formal letter. You might know who you're writing the letter to. It might be a teacher that you're writing to complain about something. It might be a boss that you're applying for a new job to, or it might be someone that you don't know. You might be writing to the council to complain about your bins, or an MP that you haven't ever met. And yeah, written for many purposes, including to inform, tell them about the bins, complain about the bins, apply for a job with the bins. Yeah, written for lots of different things. Speech, completely get that. I see why you went for speech. No hard feelings there. I completely see why you went for speech on that one. Very similar. This one, this writing form is written to persuade. You're trying to persuade people. It's written to a large audience who won't be reading your words. So bear that one in mind. Let's launch it again. The audience here is a large audience and they won't be reading your words, and its purpose is to persuade. Sometimes we call that writing to argue. Writing to persuade, writing to argue, it's the same thing. Well done, all of you. Right in there with the right answer. A speech, yeah, definitely. Usually a large audience. You're definitely trying to persuade them. Even if it's a speech to your class, you'll usually be told to give a speech persuading them on something. Tell them why uniform isn't a good idea. Tell them why surfing is the best hobby. Something along those lines. You'll be trying to get them to agree with your point of view with a speech. Remember that your audience might change with a speech, but your purpose is usually to get them to agree with you. So well done on that one, everybody. You have definitely all been revising. Very well done. We're going to talk a little bit about grammar now. Do you remember when we did the grammar one? So our first one here, our sentence is, the little boy laughed loudly. Nice and quick, this one, nice and short. Can you please tell me where the adjective is in this sentence? You can either unmute and shout it out, or you can put it in the chat box. Please feel free. But can you tell me what the adjective is in the little boy laughed loudly? Little, Tabitha. Little. Anyone else want to have a guess? Or does everybody agree with Tabitha? Well, yes, Tabitha, well done. Little is an adjective. It is describing the boy. He is little, so that is well done, Mystery. Little as well. Absolutely, that is our adjective. Very well done. Top of the class, you two. The next one I'm looking for, please, in the little boy laughed loudly, is the noun. Which one is the noun? Boy, Casper and Mystery. Boy. Yeah, is that our noun? Tabitha, boy. Oh, sorry, I've given the answer away there. Absolutely, well done. Top of the class, you three. Boy is the noun. Where the next one is adverb, which I've just pressed too far. But can you tell me the adverb in the sentence? The little boy laughed loudly. If you remember our lesson, adverbs instead of well done, yeah, loudly. Adverbs, instead of describing the noun this time, they will describe the verb. So, and they usually end in ly, which is a big giveaway in itself. Well done, absolutely, all of you, 100% right. Loudly is our adverb. Last one now, we won't give this one away. Can you find the verb, please, in the sentence, and the little boy laughed loudly? Where's our verb? Laughed, Tabitha? Laughed, yes, well done. Coming in on the chat, everybody's laughing. Brilliant. Yes, you are right. Laughed is our verb, which makes loudly the adverb because it is describing. The adverb can come before, he loudly laughed, or the adverb can come after, he laughed loudly. It just describes the verb. Very, very good. Well done. So we're going to talk about punctuation now. This is a difficult one. This one was difficult on the lesson that we covered last time. So we're going to talk about it a little bit more. And our first punctuation we're going to cover is apostrophes. So our sentence here, buy our muffins, you'll not regret it. I'm going to do a quick poll, answer A or B, whether you think it's A, correct, or B, incorrect, its use of apostrophes. Thank you very much. Anybody else going to join us in? Is the apostrophe A correct or B incorrect in this sentence? Buy our muffins, you'll not regret it. Let me share the results with you. All of you there said B. No, this is incorrect. And you are right. Yes, you'll should have an apostrophe. You'll is short for you will. We're missing some letters, so we need an apostrophe to show that we are missing letters. Let's take a look at the next one. Just like Mum's apple pie. These all sound like adverts, don't they? Just like Mum's apple pie. Is this A correct or B incorrect? Very well done. Very well done. That was very quick, and all of you absolutely right. Can anybody tell me where the apostrophe is wrong then? Because there are no apostrophes in this sentence. Where should the apostrophe be? Does anybody know? Mum's, Tabitha, yes, because the apple pies belong to Mum. They are hers. It shows possession this time. It doesn't show that we're missing any letters. This time the apostrophe should show possession. Very, very good. Our next example. 50% off at Joe's. It's a steal. Is this correct or incorrect? Let me share the poll again with you. There we go. 50% off at Joe's. It's a steal. Is it correct or incorrect? That's all of you. Well done. Split this time. Yeah, I can see why. Let me share the results with you. I can see why. So if there are more than one Joe, then this would be wrong because it's got an apostrophe and we don't apostrophe for plurals. But this sounds very much like it's a shop, doesn't it? 50% off at Joe's. And then if it is a shop, Joe's shop, then it is his shop. It's showing possession. So it should have an apostrophe. So this is correct, this one, yeah. 50% off at Joe's, it's a steal. And the it's as well would also have an apostrophe because it's is short for it is a steal. It's a steal. So yeah, that one's correct. Another one now. Farmer's pies sold here. Is this one correct or incorrect? Farmer's pies sold here. A, correct, or B, incorrect? Apostrophes are hard. Well done, all of you, for voting. Thank you very much for joining in. Apostrophes are hard. Let me share the results with you. This one was split again. The majority of you said that this is incorrect. You are right. Pies here has an apostrophe, and it shouldn't. The pie is more than one. It is plural. There are lots of pies. So we don't put an apostrophe to show plural. Farmers, the pies belong to the farmer. So we should have an apostrophe there to show ownership, to show possession. So completely the wrong way around here. Farmers should have the apostrophe, pies should not. This is tricky. This is tricky. Apostrophes are tricky. Commas now. Do you remember commas? Where are we using the commas correctly or not in this sentence? The coat, comma, which has never been worn is still on the hanger. Is that sentence correctly using commas A, or incorrectly using commas B? Commas are super hard. Don't worry about this one. Commas are super hard. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for your votes. Let me share this one with you. This one is split as well. I knew it would be. Commas are difficult. Don't worry about this one. Actually, this one is incorrect. The coat, comma, that's correct, which has never been worn, that should be a comma there, is still on the hanger, because what we're doing there is we're segmenting this sentence. If you can hear it when we speak it. So the sentence should read, the coat, which has never been worn, is still on the hanger. You can kind of hear that that clause is segmented there, and you would speak that naturally. So if I read this sentence how it is actually written, you can hear that it's wrong. The coat, which has never been worn, is still on the hanger. That sounds wrong, okay? So the segmented bit should be which has never been worn. That is a separate clause to the rest. So 2 commas should be in this one. This is tricky. Let's have a look at the next example for commas. My eldest cousin, who is on my dad's side, is my favourite. Is that correct use of commas, A, or incorrect use of commas, B? Thank you very much for your votes. Anybody else want to have a go? Very good. This one is not split. This one was everybody straight in for A, correct. Yes, well done. You heard what I just said in the last one. This one has segmented that clause beautifully. My eldest cousin, who is on my dad's side, is my favourite. Yeah, very well done. Our next one. I went to the shops today and, comma, I bought a cake. Is that A, correct, or B, incorrect? Thank you very much for the votes. Well done. They are flying in. Thank you so much. Everybody's going for B. Let me share the results with you. Everybody went for B, incorrect. Yes, it is. It's definitely incorrect. This sentence has 2 clauses. I went to the shops today and I bought a cake. You can either join those together as one without a comma, because the and can be the joining words, or you can put the comma, I went to the shops today and I bought a cake. So the comma should be after today or not at all. Well done. Very well done for that one. Share the next one with you. I like to bake, decorate, and eat cakes. I do. I like to bake, decorate, and eat cakes. Is that A, correct, or B, incorrect? Oh, they're flying in. Very well done, everybody. Very well done. Let me share this on with you again. Everybody straight in there for correct. Very well done. Yes, these commas are perfectly placed to show a list. We're listing something here. We've got 3 things. The person likes to bake, 1, decorate, 2, and eat cakes. The commas are used brilliantly. You could argue about that second comma between the decorate and. That's the Oxford comma we talked about before. But to be correct and to do the list properly, yes, you should use the commas as this one is. So very well done for picking up on that. So writer's perspective, this is difficult. We talked about this before. We've not covered this too much, and this is a difficult one. I do advise you to go over your Cloudport information on writer's perspective, because there is a lot there. And it was too much for me to cover all completely in the last lesson. You do really, really well to go back and give this a go in your own time if you haven't already, having a look at writer's perspective. I'm going to show here how two descriptions of the exact same thing happening can show a different perspective. And I want us to hopefully talk about this afterwards and talk about what each perspective was. I'll read the first one out to you now. It was a scorching hot day. I stubbornly brushed my teeth, pulled on any old clothes and stomped out of the door, ready for yet another day in school. And the second sentence. It was a gloriously warm day. I brushed my teeth, chose an outfit and breezed out of the door, excited for a day in school. So what is the perspective in these two extracts? What can anybody tell us about the perspective in the first one as opposed to the perspective in the second one? You can unmute and shout out or put it in the chat. Let's have a talk about it. But the same thing is happening in both of these. Somebody is waking up, brushing the teeth, getting dressed, leaving for school. The same thing is happening, but it's happening differently. What's the writer's perspective on the day and school?
The first one, it's a bad mood.
Very good.
It's an exciting mood. Someone is excited to be at school.
Excellent.
Is going under bad weather.
Yes, well done. So what's their perspective on school, could we say? If you were asked to pull out the perspective on school, what could we say about the first one? Is it a positive perspective on school or a negative perspective? Tabitha hates school.
It was a positive perspective. He was ready.
They're ready. Yeah, well done. Daniel, tired of school, a negative outlook. Very, very much. Yeah. If you read this in an extract, you would know that this writer does not like school, is sick of school, does not want to go again. Definitely a negative perspective. And the second one, oppositely, yeah, definitely a positive perspective on school. They're enjoying the day. They're enjoying the weather. They are excited for another day at school. Well done. Let's have a look again at some writers' perspectives. So this is a description, again, of the same thing happening. This is a topical one. This is about the postal strikes and written in two different ways. Have I think, as I read these, again, about the sort of perspective that the writer has on the strikes. The first one reads, at the post depot today, sorry, let me just move my window out of the way. At the post depot today, disruptive gangs mobbed the entranceway, shouting and aggressively waving banners, rioting against what they deem is an unfair lack of pay rise. The unreasonable amount they have demanded has not been met by the impressive institution of Royal Mail, and so in anger, they've decided to stop working. And the second extract reads, at the post depot today, an excited crowd gathered at the entranceway, passionately chanting and waving lovingly made banners, protesting against a fair pay increase. The reasonable amount they have requested was refused by the billion-pound profit-making Royal Mail, and so in revolution, they've been forced to stop working. What can we say about the perspective on those two? What do you notice? Daniel, the first extract seems to disagree with the protest. The second seems to have the opposite perspective and agree. Very good. Yeah, very, very well worked out. Yeah, definitely. Tabitha, different moods, 100% different moods. You can see that line for line, it's talked about the same thing happening, but in completely different moods. Casper, first one portrays them negatively. Absolutely. So what words can we see in the first one that gives you the idea that the writer is against the strikes, that they are negative things and that the people in them are negative? Can anyone pull out any words from the first extract that shows the negativity? Unfair, Tabitha. Yeah, it's unfair. An unfair, like, yeah, what they deem. Then this writer isn't saying that this is unfair. The writer's saying what they deem is unfair. So clearly, then the writer disagrees with them. Disruptive, Daniel. Very good. Yeah, they're disruptive. Gangs, Casper. Gangs are never a good thing, are they? You don't get good gangs. That word itself, very well done to spot that one. That word itself has massive negative connotations. Rioting, Tabitha, yeah, rioting's a terrible thing. We don't agree with riots. None of us agree with riots. So to hear that a gang is rioting makes us think they're unreasonable. As Mystery just pointed out, unreasonable, yeah. You read this, it doesn't leave any room for your own thoughts, does it? It is telling you a gang is rioting and they are unreasonable. Demanded, Tabitha, yeah, they haven't asked for a pay rise. They're not being fair, they're demanding it, and it's just not fair. Poor Royal Mail. What about the second extract? What words can we spot in the second extract to see that the writer agrees with the postal strikes? Excited, yeah, an excited crowd this time. They're not disruptive, and it's not a gang this time, is it? What are they this time? Fair, reasonable. Yeah, well done, Daniel and Tabitha. Yeah, fair and reasonable this time. They're only asking for what they deserve. Crowd, Tabitha, well done. Yeah, it's not a gang anymore, is it? It's just a crowd. It's just a group of people. Passionately, Mystery. Yeah, this time they're just passionate. They feel for something and they're standing up for what's right. Requested. Yeah, they've requested a pay rise. Well done, Tabitha. They haven't demanded it. They're not asking unfairly. They've just requested it and it was refused. Well done. So hopefully you can see here. And this is a very, very good example of how you would get the same story covered in two different newspapers. You would get the same story covered biased by two different newspapers. Some newspapers are on the left, some newspapers are on the right. You'll see this time and time again with stories like this, especially with stories on race and migrants and things. The same story will be told with the newspaper's perspective. Can anybody think what newspaper you might find either of these in? Which newspaper is more likely to have words like the top one? Which newspaper is more likely to have words like the second one? Difficult question, this one. Don't worry if you don't know. Does anyone have an idea of what kind of papers they might see stories like this in? The Sun, Tabitha. Yeah, which one for the Sun? The bottom one, an excited one. Yeah, maybe, but the Sun kind of gets up in arms about things usually. Yeah, maybe the Sun would be for it, maybe they would be against it. The Daily Mail 100% would be the negative one, that crowds are angry and how dare they ask for more money, the peasants are on enough. Yeah, you would definitely get certain newspapers that would favour one over the other. And we're going to talk about that more now. So let's move on to the next page here. Just move my windows, sorry. So these are all genuine headlines talking about refugees coming to Britain. These are all genuine headlines. We have here, migrants swarm to Britain, illegals have landed, migrant workers flooding Britain, Britain's surge in ethnic numbers, and migrants rob young Brits jobs. What do we get in here about the perspective? Oh, sorry, I've gone forwards. What are we getting here about the perspective? How are we feeling about the perspective? What ideas do you get here? Bad, Tabitha. Yeah, bad. How do these papers feel about migrants? How do these papers feel about people coming to our country? Not accepted, Casper. Absolutely not accepted. It is not acceptable. Yeah. And these people will not be accepted. Unhappy. Yeah, Tabitha, these people are unhappy. And again, these are the newspapers that we spoke about a minute ago. So these negative, yes, well done, negative, very negative. This will be your Daily Mail and the Express. I think all of these headlines I actually took from the Daily Mail and the Express, who have got a hugely negative view. And on the same day you're getting these headlines, you will also get the Guardian and the Telegraph with positive headlines. You know, hey, we saved all these migrants. We fished them out of the freezing cold sea and we've saved them and look how happy they are now. There's two sides to every story. And please be aware when you're reading that this writer's perspective may or may not be the right one, but they're entitled to their perspective, and your job is not to say whether they're right or wrong, it's just to find what their perspective is. So what words can we spot in these headlines to say that this is negative? You are all right, these are negative. Swarm, Tabitha, a swarm is not a good thing, isn't it? A swarm is never good. Surge, yeah. Rob, Mystery, yeah, they've robbed. Yeah, they haven't applied for these jobs and got them because they were the best at the job. They've got it because they stole them. Flooding, illegals, yeah, illegals. These human beings are illegal. Very well done, good, well spotted. I've highlighted here all the bad words in each one. Flooding, surge, yeah, surge is a bad word. Flooding as well. Flooding is never a good thing, is it? Are they flooding Britain? You know, is Britain spilling over with these people? That's the connotation that we're getting from the word flooding. And this is the power of newspapers as well. If you're just seeing these on the stands and these are the words that are entering your brain, that negative connotation is what's entering your brain. If you're not stopping to read the whole story, The headline is the bit that you're getting, and this is what you'll be asked to do in your exam, is to spot the writer's perspective, to spot where the writer is coming from and the words that they have used that give you that impression. You were all 100% right. From just these headlines alone, you have all spotted this is negative and you know exactly what the writer's perspective is. In an exam, you'll be asked to know how you got that information, what the writer did to give you that impression. And this is the answer that you would give. It's words like this, it's adjectives like this that give us the negative connotations. Very well done. So I've talked here about newspapers' perspectives. And this is just a general picture, really, really helpful. You won't ever be asked this in an exam, but you will be given articles. And it is helpful to know which newspapers are tabloids, which are broadsheets. Remember, the tabloids use colloquial language. The stories are a bit lighter, they're easy to read. The broadsheets are much more serious, very formal language, much more serious articles. And the same story will be given in different ways in these two newspapers, but also this shows whether they lean to the left, whether they're liberal, or whether they lean to the right, whether they're conservative. A lot of newspapers, as you can see, are more right-wing than left-wing. The Daily Mail, the Sun, the Daily Express, they were the ones where those headlines came from. This is kind of useful. Hopefully you can use this, swap up on this a little bit for your exams. We talk here as well about bias. So these newspapers are left or right biased. If you read the Daily Mail, it will be that migrants are awful. If you read the Guardian, it would be that they're great. That's a general assumption, but that's a bias. We can also have an implicit bias or an accidental bias, which is where the writer feels something and tries to be open about it, tries to be neutral, but actually they believe in something so strongly that that still comes through. And you might read that as well. You might get a piece of work where you think this is trying to be balanced, but actually I think the writer believes that. An example of that would be the lesson I've just given. I've showed you both sides of the story, the postal strike. I've showed you both sides of that. But you can probably guess which side I'm on just from the way that I taught it, which was accidental. I'm trying to be neutral about it, but you can probably guess which side I'm on, which is unconscious bias, which is accidental bias. So further revision, you've all done really well on this. You all did really well. If there was a bit of this lesson that you struggled on more than the others, then please go to this section. So if you struggled with identifying the writing forms, then go back to Unit 2 in your information, go back to the lesson that we did on Unit 2. That will help you identify writing forms a bit more. I do talk in these lessons as well about you'll need this in the exam. You might not need this so much. You will need identifying writing forms. If you struggled with audience and purpose, head back to Unit 1. Very good unit, quite long, but very, very good, very helpful, and head back to my first lesson. If you struggled with the grammar, with the punctuation, with the bits like that, and the adjectives, the verbs, the adverbs, if you struggled with that, that's Unit 4. And again, with the punctuation, the apostrophes, specifically the commas, they are tricky. Head back to Unit 4, go over that again, try and do the write-in questions at the end and watch back over our lesson. And if you struggled with writer's perspective, that's Unit 7 and the lesson that we covered last week. And further revision, again, I can't tell you how much reading helps. A few people have asked for a reading suggestion list. These are a few books. Nearly all of these are short stories that won't take you very long to read. I suggest these to everybody, whether you read a lot, whether you haven't read since school. Most of these are on the GCSE curriculum for literature, so they are aimed at teenagers. They're easy reads. Some of these are teen literature, young adult literature, sorry. These are all brilliant books. So I can't tell you how much reading will help you in your exams. It will just help you with the comma structure, with sentence structure, with syntax. So yeah, go ahead, read some of these books. Let me know what you think. I'm always ready to talk about all of these books. Some of these are my favorites. So yeah, hopefully that will help you. Thank you very much for coming to lesson 10. Thank you so much. I hope I wasn't too laggy today. I'm sorry if my internet was dreadful. I am on holiday.